Good morning. How's everybody doing? All right. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Not good, huh? There we go. Now I see some faces. Okay, I'm going to wait a couple minutes till we get more people here. I'm a little concerned since we have a test tomorrow. Anyone wear a shirt they want to share? It is T-shirt Tuesday. Believe it or not. Here we go. Now we're getting simple. Some more people, I should say. Lots of you are here. All right. So nobody has a shirt they want to share. How depressing. Well, mine's not even very exciting today, let me tell you. Mine, you can see the top. It's FUSD, Flagstaff Unified School District. My sister worked for FUSD for a while, and I went up to visit her because I mentor some middle school and elementary school classrooms. So this shirt was pretty popular a couple years ago. Have you seen this shirt before? It says, I teach, what's your superpower? So kind of fun. And Flagstaff, they have a theme every year and all the staff gets the shirts. So that was their theme in like 2014. So super fun. So some of you still have not taken your lockdown browser practice test. It's going to be hard for you to make sure you don't have technology issues tomorrow if you don't get that practice test done. Okay, so I'm very forgiving when the assignment was due on Sunday. and the test isn't till Wednesday. So, and I want to give you a couple reminders about the lockdown browser test. So let me share my screen. Some of you are not holding up your ID. It sounds stupid, like you see me every day, but hold up your ID. If the directions say hold up your ID, hold up your ID. Okay? Find it. It doesn't have to be your MCC ID. Anything with your picture, that's an ID. So if it's your driver's license, fine. You know, it's not going anywhere. It's recorded under a secure system. So you shouldn't have any issues with that. Hopefully you have your review completed or as completed as you can, and you have it ready so we can go over it today. Okay, this review is as helpful as you make it. Okay, so if you did your review and you're all ready, then it's going to be real helpful because you're going to know what questions you have. If you didn't do your review, it's probably not going to be real helpful, just so you know. Don't forget your test opens in Canvas at 9 a.m. and it'll close at 10 a.m. It's a timed exam. It only gives you 60 minutes to take the test. So if you don't log on until 10:15, it's going to log you out. I'm sorry, at 9:15, it's going to log you out at 10 a.m. and you only have 45 minutes to complete your test. So the test is only open for that window of time. So if you log on late, you're just taking time away from your test. Does that make sense? Questions on that? So it doesn't leave a lot of room for error. Don't, be like, oh, I'll just log on at 9 and then your computer restarts at 9 and you're crying. Yeah. So don't do that. Make sure you log on plenty early and you're already at 9 to open the test, right? With your lockdown browser. Remember that we talked about mindfulness and staying calm when you take the test. And meditating for 10 minutes prior to an exam has been proven to show improved scores. So it's a great idea. Log on 8:45, get all ready, make sure your Canvas is up and everything. You don't have to get on Zoom tomorrow, right? You just make sure your Canvas is all up and then you just sit and meditate for 10 minutes. Get out all those negative thoughts, right? That you don't want to come in your mind during the test and be ready. Now, if you haven't done your lockdown browser practice test, I'm going to talk to you again today about it. And some of you might have a good reason. I get it. I just need to know that. So, we know you're not going to have tech issues tomorrow. The other thing is when you do your environment video, please don't do it like this. Because I have no idea what just happened. Okay, so when you do your environment video, take your time and show your workspace. So show your whole workspace. I should see a clear desk, not like my desk, which is a mess right now. Okay, I should see your whole desk. I should also see your blank pieces of paper. It can be lined paper, but you should go like this. I shouldn't see like your math notebook sitting there. Okay, because I'll just automatically change your score to a 0. Okay, you're not allowed to use any notes or anything in this test. Anything you're allowed to use, I provide for you. So you should have blank pieces of paper. You should have your calculator. Okay, and you should show it to the screen, and then you should make sure you record so it can see you. I know it's going to pop up where it says it can't detect your face, right? I know that's going to pop up. So I know that might be annoying when you're taking the test, but make sure your webcam is set up so it can see you. You can set it up so it can see you all the way like this. So it can see your workspace while you're working. If it doesn't, then we have to make some adjustments. It shouldn't be like this the whole time. That's not how you should be recorded when you take your test. Okay? That shows me nothing. Defeats the purpose of Respond to Slackdown browser. Okay? So questions about how to take the test, show your ID, do a nice pan of your room and your environment. I know some of you are on a desktop and it's a little bit harder. So, but you definitely can show me your blank paper, right? And all of those things and your calculator. Notice it says you have 15 minutes after you finish your test to upload your written work. So you need to be ready to do that, right? Whatever scanning app you usually use, be sure it's ready right when you're done so you don't have tech issues. So you're going to scan it, make them PDFs, and upload it to the assignment that says statistics test work upload. Okay, so any questions about that? If you're having any tech issues, I'm going to be on Zoom. Okay. But if you are one of those that didn't do a Respond to Lockdown browser practice test and you're having nothing tech issues, I'll be there. But if you end up only having 15 minutes to do your test, that's what you did, not me. Right? That's why we solve these tech issues several days prior to taking the test. Okay. All right, you should have already done your practice lockdown browser test. There's an example of how you would be recorded. Now, if you're being recorded like this, it's going to come up with that it doesn't recognize your face because it's not close enough. But do you see me as an instructor? This is more helpful because I can see your whole workspace. How many of you finished your statistics review already? Amanda did, Yesenia did. How many of you finished about part of it or some of it? How many of you didn't start it? Be honest if you didn't start it. AJ, Ashley, Valerie, thanks for being honest. Some of you aren't responding at all. I don't know what's happening. Like you're just looking at me like I'm not here. Did you start it? Did you not start it? Okay. I'll give you the answer key, but I'm telling you, if you didn't start it, it's not very helpful. Right? So I'm not sure where you're going to go from there. So I'm going to put you in your breakout rooms and I will come visit you. I'm going to recommend you, if you have not started the review, that's what you're going to do. I'm not going through every single question because then it's not studying, right? So, but I'm going to go visit your rooms and I will go over what questions you have. So there's the key. If you haven't started the review, don't look at it yet, right? You can copy it, but don't look at it yet. And you need to, this is an assignment that's due tonight. You need to show me all your work. If you just make a copy of my document and turn it in, guess how much credit I'm going to give you? 0. It doesn't make any sense. You can do it on paper, right? You don't have to copy the questions down. Just write number 1 on paper and fill out your answer. Before we do that, I want to go over your exit ticket. The exit ticket yesterday, I don't know what happened, but only like, let me see. Only like 2 people got it right, which says to me something went wrong. And I'm pretty sure I can figure out what one thing was that went wrong. And I'll show you and you can tell me if you agree or disagree. But this is a great review. And I know that that homework last night was hard, right? Amanda came and visited me during office hours. I know that homework was hard. if you looked at your review, there's only one of those on the test. So it's not going to make or break you. And I opened it back up till tonight. Okay. So I'm going to pull up the exit ticket and share my screen so you can see it. All right. Okay, so here's the exit ticket. Hopefully it won't hate me because it's not really signed in. Okay, dang it. We'll see. Okay. So obviously you guys can do the first part where what class you're in and your name. How many of you read this part of the screen that says hint for the problem below, find the z-score first, then use the table to find the area. Pay special attention to whether you're looking for the area to the right or the area to the left. You can use the table below to help you. And then I had the formula for the z-score, and then I had the table. How many of you actually read that hint? Be honest. How many of you read that hint? Malachi says he did. Malachi, you weren't even in class yesterday.
I thought you were talking
Right?
about like the homework.
No, am I sharing my screen with you right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many of you read this hint right here on this paper? Nobody. Okay, so do you think I put that hint there just for me? That hint was to help you, right? Would that have helped you yesterday? Would that hint have helped you? Yeah, Valerie's saying yeah. I don't know what's happening right now, but you guys are like literally not responding. Should we just go and you guys can just go study? Okay, a few heads that shook no. So what do you want? What do you want? Tell me what you want. Oh, okay. Nobody wants anything. I'll put you in your breakout rooms.
Can we work
Call
on
me
the
in if you have a
ticket?
question.
Okay.
Amanda, stay here for a minute. Hi, Amanda. I heard you start to ask a question at the very end. So
Yeah,
I'm going to go.
I wanted to go through the exit ticket, but
Perfect. I will.
okay,
So
thank you.
hold on one sec. Ashley and Yesenia, are you joining your rooms? Okay, Yesenia might be frozen. Ashley seems to have walked away. So I don't know what's happening, Amanda.
I don't either.
Okay. All right, so everyone is back. Hooray. Now, sorry if you guys thought I was crabby at the start of class, but it's super frustrating when I say, come ready with your questions. And then I say, what's your questions? And I get this. That means nobody has any questions. So we can just go, right? I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case. So instead of getting more and more frustrated with you, I just figured I'd put you in breakout rooms and you could chat to each other. You could complain about me if you want. That's fine. You could hopefully get some of your review done because you're the ones who have to take the test tomorrow. And if I'm the one doing all the math, I'm pretty sure we have a problem. So, welcome back. Did you guys get pretty far in your reviews? And hopefully now you're going to go, okay, for the next review day, I'm going to be ready because otherwise I'm just going to go, oh, we don't need a review day. Perfect. And next time we'll just take the test on Tuesday. Does that sound fun? No, probably not. So let's make sure we use this review day wisely. So before we go, is there any burning question? You have the key, so you have the answers to all of them, but there might be one that seems harder than the rest, or you just can't figure out even when you look at the key. So is there anyone needs?
So what? We're like asking questions.
Yes, perfect.
Um, kind of like stuck on 18. The
18.
sample standard like deviation like gives me the numbers of like the 6 kids.
Yeah. So first it asks you for the range. With the range is pretty easy. So for the sample standard deviation, that's probably the one that's the hardest, where you have to do the most work, right? And the easy way to do it is to use the calculator app, right? But if you don't do it that way, and if you use the calculator app, did you notice on my key, I just say, okay, then tell me what you did on the calculator, right? I typed in all of this, and you might not use those steps. That's a graphing calculator steps, but you might use the other calculator steps. So first, let me share my screen so we can see that. And Malachi, on that one, first it asks for the range. Did you find the range already?
Yeah, the 91 minus 12.
Yep. So you just take the biggest number minus the smallest number. So 91 minus 12. And you got a total of 79. And what's our units on that one?
Hours.
Hours. Perfect. So 79 hours. Now, when you do the sample standard deviation, the formula says find the mean first. Okay. So we would have to find the mean. And so we would add up 2250 plus 38 plus 63 plus 91 plus 12. Oops. Plus 12. And we would divide it by 6. And if you work all that out, what do you get for the mean?
46 hours.
46 hours. Perfect. Now to do the standard deviation, you take each one of these data values and subtract the mean from it. So you do 22 minus 46, and then you square it. And then you do 50 minus 46, and you square it. And you do 38 minus 46, and you square it. And 63 minus 46, and square it. 91 minus 46, and you square it. And then 12 minus 46, and you square it. After you do all that work, then you add all those up and you divide it by 5 because you divide by n minus 1, and that's a formula on the formula sheet. And then you take the square root of it. But that's a lot of work, right? How many of you think that's a lot of work? Yeah, that is a lot. So there is a shortcut that I highly recommend on a problem like this. And that's when you do our stats calculator. I wonder if I still have it open somewhere on here. I hope. I thought I had it bookmarked. Maybe it's this one. No. Let me find it. Oh, there it is. Stats calculator. So, and I can put this in the chat for you if you want. Let me copy this.
Are you
Put it
sure
in
we
the
rounded
chat.
to 5? Are we supposed to round it to like 6?
On which,
Not, I mean, there's
when we divide?
6. I mean, it should be like, shouldn't we divide by 6?
No, because we're doing the sample standard deviation. And the sample standard deviation divides by n minus 1. Right? On the formula. So we're going to put in our list 22, comma, 50, comma, 38, comma, 60.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
91, comma, 12. And then all you have to do is hit solve. And I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it. Can you see there's 2 values? One says S of X and the other one says sigma of X. So the sigma is if we divided by 6, that would be the population standard deviation. But we want the sample standard deviation. So we want the 28.72629, and it says round to the nearest hundredth. So you would say 28.73 hours. So Malachi, do you see how much easier that is with this calculator?
Yeah. I totally forgot about like the calculator.
Yeah. And so you have access to that calculator on this test, and you'll see it at the very top of, it's either the directions or the first question, and you can click it and Respondus will allow you to go to that website. Everybody checked that when they did Respondus, right? The practice. Good. Aaron says yes. Okay. Any other questions? So that was standard deviation. That was a good one. Ashley, what do you got?
So when exactly would you use the difference between those 2 standard deviations?
Well, the only time you would use the population one is if it says, notice in this question, it says calculate the sample standard deviation. So if it said calculate the population standard deviation.
Okay.
Okay.
Would there be any like real life situations within statistics that there would be like the difference between using them?
Yeah, sometimes if we have the entire population, we will divide by the whole number. So like for example, when we do the census, right? When we count everybody in the United States, we use the population standard deviation. So we divide by how many total people there are instead of -1. Notice that they're not super far apart, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. And so if we have a sample where if we have a distribution where we have the whole population, we have everybody counted, then we will divide by n instead of n-1.
Okay, gotcha.
Good question. What
Can
other
you-
ones on this?
Can you put the answers on the chat, because I mean I had techno
Yeah, for sure. It's also on Canvas, just so you know. But for sure, let me see if this is the key before I put it in Canvas. I mean in there we go. It's that one. Okay, I will put it in the chat again. Here's the key. And it is on Canvas now. In your review assignment, you can click a link that says answer key. So just in case you lose that link. Any other questions? Deshay got it, right? After you figured out those box and whisker plots. Nice. And Aaron asked a great question about relative frequency early on, because we haven't done that in a really long time. Olivia, did you get all your questions answered?
Yeah, I'm still working through some, but so far doing pretty good. So.
Okay, perfect. And that's a great strategy. Olivia was working her way through and then checking her answers. If you find that you are struggling later on and you're like, oh no, she doesn't have office hours tonight, what am I going to do? Send me an email, because I check my email all the time and I respond to it. So I can answer your questions as well. And then I also have office hours in the morning at 8 a.m. So if there's a last minute question, I had a student last semester that used to get super, super stressed before a test. So she was in my 9 o'clock as well. She would log in at 8 and ask me any questions. And she said, just talking to me for a little bit calmed her down and kind of reassured her that she would ask one question maybe. And then she would go, okay, I'm going to go. And she would go and she would meditate before the test. And she did really, really well. So that might be a strategy that works for you. I tried to show as much work as I could on the key so you could follow the answers in case you're struggling. Make sure when you take the test tomorrow, because if you don't come to office hours, I won't see you tomorrow at all. I won't see you till Thursday. Make sure you show your work on your review, and you definitely show your work on the test. If you don't upload your work, then I change your test score to a 0. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. Okay, any other questions? So don't forget to finish your statistics review, upload it to Canvas, check the answer key, that's due tonight. Don't forget to upload your test work 15 minutes after you turn in your test. Also, notice this should say tomorrow. This is due tomorrow. You have a reading quiz. So after you take the test, because we're going to start with P1 on Thursday. So do your reading quiz. I don't think the mini lessons do, but I will double check. And then you're going to have a statistics reflection, but that's not going to be due till Sunday. So keep an eye out on Canvas for your assignments. Okay, I'm going to put this exit ticket in the chat. And then make sure you message me if you have any questions. This test is worth a lot of points, so you want to make sure you practice that statistics review. And don't forget all your more assignments are open too, right? Through tonight. So if you wanted to relook at any of them, you can. Okay. Well, you're good to go. And I hope if you need anything, you can email me. And good luck on the test tomorrow if I don't see you. And then I'll see you Thursday.